All right, so let's talk about 3 proven referral strategies for financial advisors.
I'm Stephen Boswell here with Kevin Nichols, and today we're going to talk about some of the research that we've done on why some advisors get more referral flow than others.
Yeah, so this is some research, and we broke it down into 3 categories. One group we called laggards, one is called middlers, and the other is generators. Now, as you can see, these are advisors, if you're in the generator category, who are getting 10 or more referrals every single year.
That's what we're after. Nobody wants to be a laggard, and there are reasons why some people get more referrals than others. Today is about those reasons.
So, question might be, well, shouldn't we just be asking for referrals? Well, we don't like doing that for a couple reasons. One, we feel like it really weakens your overall positioning, right? No one wants to look like they're groveling for business, but also the research.
And it's still out there that we have a lot of people who still call our office and they say, guys, I know what you're going to tell me. I should just ask for referrals. It's that simple. It's not that simple. And part of it is the research from the affluent that says they don't like that approach. It makes them feel uncomfortable because they're being put on the spot. They're having to think about, who do I know that has money, who's not going to be put off by a pushy advisor on their trail? And they tend to come back with something like, let me think about it, but they don't provide referrals in that context.
So when we're talking about getting more referrals today, we're talking about unsolicited referrals, right? So we're going to give you 3 strategies, starting with strategy number 1, and that is create situations where it's natural for clients to talk about you.
Now, the baseline for this is we hope you're doing a good job for people. We're not going to spend a lot of time today talking about your deliverables and your service and things that you should be doing well, because obviously strategy number 1 could backfire, right? You could have people talking about you in a negative way if you're not having regular reviews, if your performance stinks. I mean, there are some reasons why you wouldn't want them talking, but we're going to take it for granted today that all that stuff is in order and that you want people spreading the word about your services.
So think about this concept. How many times did your clients talk about you over the past 12 months? I mean, this is a number that you would never know, but I'm not saying that they gave you this many referrals, but how many times did they just have conversations with friends and families and family members and centers of influence about you? 25 times over the past 12 months, 50 times, 100 times? Our goal is this, how do we strategically increase that number?
Yeah, even though we can't measure it, we want that number going up. And so if we think about that, there's some strategies here on this slide that have a ton of depth to them. We're going to go through them relatively quickly today. Today is not an exact how-to with scripting on how to run all these things, but if you're looking to get more business in the door through referrals, you want to be mastering some of these concepts.
Introductions is basically forcing the hand of word-of-mouth influence. It's identifying people that your good clients know and asking to be personally introduced to those people.
Intimate events are a must in today's environment, whether they're social, whether they're educational. You want to be doing some small events for clients and their guests. It's a really, really natural way to get in front of their centers of influence.
Niche socials are bringing together like people, like professionals, and letting them provide value amongst themselves by networking, and then you are creating buzz. Again, they're talking about you, organizing all of it.
Whether it's useful swag or visible or shareable gifts, giving out things that clients are going to have to talk about with their friends is a smart thing to do. You can see a couple of examples here that if you send a big basket of baked goods or an edible arrangements to someone's office, chances are they're not going to eat the whole thing themselves. They're going to share it with others and tell them where it came from.
Yeah, they're not going to take credit for them.
No.
For it, right? Same thing with baseball tickets or whatever it might be. It's creating those conversations. Engaging on social media is another really good way to do that. Going in, and when I say engaging, maybe posting meaningful comments on some of your clients' posts, right? Nothing finance related, but other people see that.
So again, today, what we're talking about is how to increase conversations. This is not an in-depth how-to on how to run introductions with 10 different scripts or the 7-step process for running effective intimate events. By the way, we do have all of those. If you wanted to get access to them, they're in the Learning Center. It's $99 a month, so do take advantage of that. But these are all things that ought to be part of your arsenal.
Strategy number 2, let clients know your ideal client profile. How can you expect clients to refer you to the right types of people if they don't know the types of people with whom you work?
Right, and part of that comes down to you yourself knowing who that ideal profile is. Not 10 years ago, not 5 years ago, or even 1 year ago, but what is it today? Who do you work best with? So there are ways to go about that. In terms of determining who that ideal profile is, it largely stems from your current best clients. So if your current best client is a $750,000 client, your ideal can't be $5 million.
Right.
If your current client is $2 million, your ideal can't be 20. You want there to be some connectivity between your current best relationships and those you hope to target, because more than likely, they're going to be connected.
I think you make a good point that you can't coach your clients on your ideal client profile unless you have real clarity yourself. If you need that clarity, again, this is something that's available in the Learning Center. It's a whole module on going through that. Now, this is some research, again, when we're talking about laggards, middlers, and generators. Generators are the ones who are getting 10 or more referrals every single year. We asked them, do your top clients know your ideal client profile? 83% of the generators said, yes, they do, right? And that stood out to us, and we said, okay, look, that is one of the reasons that these generators are getting more and probably better quality referrals.
Yeah, exactly right. And the question often becomes, well, how do I communicate to them this ideal client profile? Because again, it's not, hey, I'm looking for this quality of person.
Right.
Who do you know that fits that bill?
That's right.
It's more of spaced repetition, dropping hints as to who this person really is.
So you might say something like, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Client, our practice is growing. We're really excited about it. We've recently added Chris to our team, and that should free up some internal capacity. Hey, so think of us when you run across people who are, fit in, a certain occupation, live in a certain area, or a certain life stage, right? This is obviously for divorce or something. Have a particular interest. Maybe they're really involved in a particular charity, and so are you. But you're painting the picture for them of the type of person with whom you work best.
And there's a big difference in this approach of Kevin saying to me, if I'm the client, he's the advisor. If he says to me, hey, think about us when you run across other business owners, because we really specialize in that and it's a big focus of ours. There's a big difference in that instead of him coming to me and saying, Stephen, give me a list of your 5 best business owner contacts because I want to reach out to them.
That's exactly
Light
right.
years different. So.
Yes, usually it's spaced repetition over time. Now, that's a way to verbally communicate your ideal client profile. There's other ways that you can communicate it as well. So think about your website, your LinkedIn profile, your Facebook business page, or any marketing collateral. When you're doing digital advertising, all of these should speak to your ideal.
Strategy number 3, build a social relationship with your best clients. We've done a lot of research on this over the years that tells us when you get social, when you go beyond the numbers with clients, the relationship improves in a number of ways.
Look at this. So right now, 47% have given 1 or more referrals in the past year, compared to 22% of affluent investors with a business-only relationship. That is a huge difference. So if you have a social relationship, the affluent are saying basically almost 50% have given a referral over the past year.
Yeah, it's strong. And it's not a give and take in terms of I take you to lunch and all of a sudden you give me a list of referrals. It is more of when I care about you, if I'm the client and you're the advisor, if I care about you beyond the business relationship, I go out of my way to help you out. And us going out to lunch occasionally, us having a glass of wine every now and then, or attending a sporting event deepens that personal connection.
Outside of just getting referrals, there's other benefits to getting social, right? They rate their advisor higher in 14 important areas that we've identified in our research that the affluent care about when working with another professional. 80% spoke favorably about their advisor this year. 91% say their advisor's fee is fair or a bargain, right? So referrals are obviously important and the topic of today's webinar, but there's other benefits as well.
Now, when you look at what does cause this social relationship, what is positively correlated with referrals, you can go down this list. You don't have to do all of these, but you want to have a few of these that you can do repeatedly. The number one item on the list is a really easy one in terms of having a social lunch. If you do nothing else out of having heard this session here, other than once a week having a social lunch with somebody, your numbers will go up. And this data speaks volumes that in the given year, if you had a social lunch with a client, 65% of them referred in that same calendar year.
Now we know that there's a difference between correlation and causation. So we're not saying that, okay, if you have a social lunch with a client, you have a 65% chance it's gonna happen, but there's a strong correlation here. And again, I like Stephen's point of picking out a few of these and saying, I'm gonna work these into my monthly regimen when it comes to marketing, and referrals should see an impact.
So one of the things that we're known for as a company is help putting structure around relationship marketing. And that's a big topic that we've gone through today. You can look at a number of the different recommendations and you could say, well, we talked about generating more personal introductions, maybe hosting some events, certainly warming up the relationship by getting social. All things that aren't a complete shocker to any of you out there. The challenge and what we're known for is helping put structure around those things. So helping you build a repeatable routine that helps all those things happen more often than random might happen.
That's exactly right. So another question is, okay, well, let's say I implement these 3 strategies. How do I measure the impact? And one of the easiest ways to do that is to measure what we call your referral flow rate. It's a simple calculation. It's basically new households by referral over the past 12 months divided by your total number of households. So if you were to take a look at a quick example of how that might look, let's say Susan here Susan had 12 new households by referral over the past 12 months. She has a total of 175 total households, so her referral flow rate is 6.9%. And then you have Brian on the other side of that, 6 new households, but he has 200 total, and his referral flow rate is 3%. We usually look at a baseline of about 5, but the real measure here is it growing?
Yeah, and what we want to be focused on is that number going up, and we want to get it out of our heads that this is market dependent or that there's some outside factor that's causing us not to get referred. We want to be thinking about what's within our control day in and day out to help this number go up. And guess what? You can look through all the data that we showed today and much more that we have that'll tell you if you engage in certain behaviors, that referral number is going up, and it's a lot easier, number one, a lot easier way to bring in clients than going out cold. And number two, you're getting a better quality of client because they're connected to your ideal profile clients already. So when you look at how all this is translated from quick webinar, quick instructional piece into actionable ideas, the Learning Center is the place that we use to house all of our best courses on client acquisition, sales strategies, service principles. It is a robust system that can help you grow, and it's $99 a month.
Yeah, so currently it has 33 courses that are filmed in our professional studio, right? This is not us with an iPhone shooting an idea. These are professionally done courses. They're all app enabled, so you can learn on the go as well. So you can, and it tracks your progress. And it also includes 25 robust worksheets, and it all starts with our benchmarking assessment.
The benchmarking assessment compares you to over 2,300 other advisors now who've gone through this, and you can stack yourself up in all these different criteria, and it guides the system. It helps you understand where to begin. So when you think about this system, think about it this way: $99 for new ideas, and think about what you're able to get on YouTube, what you're able to get on a Google search. You get a lot of random ideas. It's not a system. This is your system for growth and practice management.
So if you'd like to subscribe to this system, there's a button right below this webinar. You can go ahead and subscribe. Once you subscribe, you're going to get instant access to all of these courses. Start with the benchmarking assessment. It's going to be your guide to taking our system.
Keep us posted on your successes.